Hi, this is Justin. Welcome back to Mental Health and Addiction channel on YouTube. The Mental Health and Addiction channel, I guess. Episode 18. Topics we're going to be getting to know yourself. Good one. Self-improvement, self-respect, hopefulness. And I'm going to talk about how we can learn to accomplish these things, getting to know yourself, how to improve yourself, being able to respect yourself again, and finding hope and being able to improve your life. That gives you hope too. So, being able to learn from experiences and mistakes. Now, when I say this, I'm not referring to just ruminating over something you're upset about or mad about, hurt by, and ruminating over and over, but rather learning about yourself in those situations, in any situations, and learning to instead be able to look back at your past experiences and learn more about how you think and process things, and looking at how you can learn about and better yourself. So you learn about yourself, and in the process you can learn how to better yourself by reflection, self-reflection on the things that you could improve upon. So let's turn ruminating into self-reflection. So that is one way. Giving yourself time to be able to get to know yourself is important. To see how you can start to find areas where you'd like to make personal changes and improvements, and then begin to learn how to apply such changes for improvements in your life, how you learn, cope, or however you need to or decide to improve your life. Whatever it is that it is about you that you want to improve, because this is about you. Just beginning this process seriously and continually being willing, the continuing willingness to constantly be open to making these personal improvements to yourself will naturally bring forth more confidence and quite possibly a great many realizations, which can sometimes be very difficult to face and deal with. An example that would be difficult to face would be if, say, you were in active addiction for a long period of time, and you've maybe, now that you're clean, have this realization that you had been totally taken advantage of. Maybe you probably knew it at the time, but looking back now, but you realize now that it was just so horrible, and you were totally taken advantage of. But for whatever reason you have or had, you either didn't realize how negatively something was affecting you, or how traumatic it was and is, or perhaps, and this is where self-respect comes in, perhaps you just didn't think you were good enough to deserve any better. That can be if someone does something to get it, say drugs or something, or money or something horrible that they would never have actually done, be it stealing or selling themselves or something like that. But you can improve yourself, and you can be proud of yourself again. You really can. Improvement does so much for one's self-respect. One thing that's very important is that you really must stop associating with people and friends who use. I know that there are good people, and you probably had friends who were good people, and all the times when we think about what is a good person when we're using drugs, it's, well, someone who doesn't steal from you, someone who seems to be honest with you. But there's so many more qualities we need in a friend. If they are your friend, they'll understand that you need to separate yourself from that situation. They may need you to explain it to them, but honestly, you don't owe them an explanation. You're doing this for yourself. If you don't separate yourself from this environment or scene, you're so much more likely to relapse or fail or feel like a failure. But even if you do relapse, you can continue your road to being and staying clean. Just do your best to make necessary adjustments or changes so that you are not tempted again. Avoid any situations where you could even be around people or situations where you could be tempted or triggered or anything. You know yourself best, and get serious about it, and don't be around in the environment where this is going on. If the only people in your life or family are also users, or are part of the streets or drug scene, or an environment that you're aware you need to avoid, please do reach out to someone somewhere. A psychologist, psychiatrist, doctor, social worker. You can also go to NAMI.org. That's NAMI.org. I believe that stands for National Alliance for Mental Health. Mental illness, .org. Get information you can from anyone and anywhere. And if you feel like you need, and you may not feel like you need, but if you may need inpatient psychiatric care or inpatient rehabilitation, which is totally fine. I've done that too. It's not a weakness, it's strength to address your weaknesses, such as addiction, which is a disease, not a actual flaw. So when I use the word weakness, I don't mean a personality weakness. So I apologize if I misused that word. But as I was saying, if you do find that you are in inpatient psychiatric care and don't want to go back home, let them know about your concerns, whatever they may be. If you don't feel safe at home, if people are stealing your stuff, or you're emotionally or physically abused, any reason that you don't want to go back home, let them know. Ask them about your concerns, and then ask them if you can be sent to a respite care facility as a transition before you find another place to go, because you may need to try to find a healthier place for you to go and live and be in a better environment. Maybe you don't want to go home because, like I said before, people steal from you or don't respect you or using drugs or abusive. But if you do feel unsafe, please tell someone, a social worker or something. Maybe they can get the respite thing going for you or help you get into a better, healthier environment, because that's all about you. You need to be able to improve yourself. And if there's stuff going on around you that's just tempting and triggering, you're not going to be able to advance very well with that stuff going on. You're going to be distracted, and it'll be so much harder. And I just really encourage you to seek out a better environment. And I know that may feel impossible, but with help, it can be done. Please seek out help. They can help give you the motivation, the confidence, and the resources. Okay. So you have the opportunities to get to know yourself while also making personal improvements in life and meeting little goals you set for yourself every day that you can. Every conversation, and even in the ways in which you may feel about or react to things like stress we experience from the pandemic, the division we've all been getting dragged into, kicking and screaming in this country. There's also a feeling that a lot of people believe everyone else is lying. People are truly believing falsehoods propagated in a way Americans aren't familiar with and don't understand, and certainly don't know how to respond to, don't know what to do with it. Propaganda and lies are things that we're just not used to having to deal with because here in America, because many of us don't know an authoritarian dictator when we have one. It's unfolding right before our eyes, this Trump dictatorship. But Americans refuse to believe that they could be fooled, even though historians are yelling as loud as they can to warn about the danger. But they've been drowned out by QAnon lies propagated by Trump himself, Russians, other foreign forces and sources. Why is it so hard to see these lies? I don't know. It's the Republicans who decided to destroy the Affordable Care Act by turning it into something no one wanted, but blamed the Democrats for how the Republicans changed it before they would even allow it to pass. That is a fact, and I feel like some people are not aware of that fact. Now, there are also outright lies incorporated into the Republican Party's platform at this time. And I'm starting to believe that people want to believe what they must know to be untrue, but wish were true. It's like they're not living in reality. Some, not all. Guys, please fact check everything you read for yourself so you have the information. And if more people do this, you can help with this. It will improve your community. It will improve society for us to know facts, where we can all be confident we are aware of the facts, not just our biases. Because we need to be aware of the facts, and we need to be aware of our biases. Vote because your life does depend on it. Certainly your quality of life. White, black, Hispanic, all of you guys, all of us. Gay, straight. I'm gay. But it would affect me if I was straight. Fact check what you read. Please. Anything that you see online, Facebook and Twitter especially, anything shared from your friends. Your friends are biased. I'm not saying don't like your friends. Your friends are great, I'm sure. But we all have internal biases. And I'm going to talk a little bit about propaganda in another video. But make it to the election results and pray for a blue tsunami to come in and clean up the dump. I try not to get too political here, but my gosh, when there's mental health affecting all of America, mental illness affecting all of America from top to bottom. That means from the White House down to the lowest of the low, and whoever those people may be, I guess the poor. But it affects us all. Please go vote. This has been episode 18 of my YouTube channel called Mental Health and Addiction, or Mental Health Addiction. Episode 18, Getting to Know Yourself, Self-Improvement, Self-Respect, and Hopefulness. Please watch for another video I think I'm going to do about propaganda. I'm definitely going to share some links to some websites about how to spot lies and propaganda and stuff like that with this video. Once I post it, and then I have a moment to go in there and edit all the stuff for the description of the video. I'll do that. Thank you guys for watching, and vote blue.